In Phnom Penh, Cambodia, traffic flows smoothly on the white Third Ring Road, flanked on both sides by stretches of rice paddies. This road took on new significance on May 28, 2024, as Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet officially named it Xi Jinping Boulevard. Hun Manet said the two countries are now enjoying the best of their friendship and thanked Xi Jinping for his contribution in promoting Cambodia's development. Xi Jinping Boulevard, together with Mao Zedong Boulevard, which was named nearly 6 decades ago in honor of the late Chinese leader Mao Zedong, are epitomes of the long-lasting relationship between Cambodia and China. With the strong cooperation between China and Cambodia, agricultural products from Cambodia, such as mangoes and cashews, have found their way into Chinese households. Meanwhile, with assistance from China, major infrastructure projects such as highways, airports, and hydropower plants are taking shape in Cambodia. Former Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen, father of Hun Manet, shared his impression of Xi Jinping.
President Xi Jinping is a great leader who has guided China onto the right development path. Each concept he has put forward, such as the Belt and Road Initiative, the Global Development Initiative, and the Global Security Initiative, has deep roots in history and culture, and also guiding significance for the future. His broad vision is unparalleled.
Xi Jinping is often regarded as China's chief diplomat. Former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger once described Xi Jinping's personal charisma by saying, "There is a significant presence when he enters a room." Since taking office as the Chinese president, Xi Jinping has been actively involved in building China's partnerships with other countries. Between 2012 and 2022, he hosted over 100 heads of state and government leaders and made 42 official trips to 69 countries. With a diplomatic approach of bring in and go global, Xi Jinping strives to expand China's circle of friends and foster closer connections with the world. On the sunny afternoon of May 6, 2024, in Paris, the entrance hall of the Élysée Palace was illuminated with grand crystal chandeliers. In the portrait room on the first floor, 3 Olympic torches were on display, side by side on an off-white marble table. During his third state visit to France, Xi Jinping and French President Emmanuel Macron exchanged Olympic torches from the Beijing Olympic Games in 2008 and 2022 and the Paris Olympic Games in 2024. Xi Jinping wished the Paris Olympic Games a great success, and together with Macron, he called for a worldwide Olympic truce. Ceremonial guards in polished boots and red-plumed helmets stood solemnly alongside the main staircase of the palace as Xi Jinping and Macron stepped into the president's office on the second floor. The two leaders engaged in a deep conversation, which extended from the scheduled 30 minutes to nearly 2 hours. Over the years, Xi Jinping and Macron have had many talks on different occasions, and each time, the two leaders brought new vitality into cooperation between the two countries and friendship between the two peoples. On this visit, Xi Jinping and Macron issued 4 joint statements concerning important global issues such as tensions in the Middle East, artificial intelligence, biodiversity, and ocean preservation. China and France also signed nearly 20 agreements spanning key areas including green development, aviation, agriculture, business, and cultural exchange. On the last day of Xi Jinping's visit, Macron invited him to the Haute-Pyrénées department in southwestern France, a place dear to Macron since his childhood. At the Tourmalet Pass, which was still covered in gentle snowfall, the two heads of state relaxed into a cordial atmosphere and had a long chat about the past and the future, from bilateral ties to global peace and stability. Xi Jinping said the torch from history should be passed on to light up the path forward, illuminating an even brighter future for China-France relations. During the conversation, Xi Jinping recalled how France and China broke through the barriers of the Cold War and established ambassador-level diplomatic relations 60 years ago. He also recalled how China-France relations have always been at the forefront of China's relation with Western countries and become a model of mutual achievement and common progress for countries with different civilizations, political systems, and development levels. Xi Jinping said, major countries shoulder special responsibilities as their relations have great impacts on global strategic stability. At a time when anti-globalization trends are on the rise, with some countries seeking to decouple and break industrial and supply chains and building small yards with high fences, the cooperation between China and France provides stability and fresh momentum for global development. It was an early morning in 2023 in Vientiane, capital of Laos, where over 100 students and teachers gathered at the train station to embark on their journey to China. 4 years ago, teachers and students at a rural school in Laos wrote a letter to Chinese President Xi Jinping in which they expressed gratitude for China's support in building their school and also their wish to learn more about China. They received a reply letter not long after, in which Xi Jinping said, "We welcome you to come to Beijing, and you can take the train to Beijing on the China-Laos Railway." Their wish became a reality 4 years later. The young students were elated to be riding on the train to Beijing.
This is my first time riding the China-Laos Railway. Exciting and amazing. I've seen beautiful sights of forests along the way.
We're now taking the train to China. We will visit schools in China and have fun with new friends there. We're looking forward to celebrating Children's Day together.
The children weren't quite aware of just how fast they were traveling across mountains and rivers. For them, a train ride was still a new and unfamiliar experience. Before the opening of the China-Laos Railway, the only railway line in Laos was a 3.5-kilometer line linking it to Thailand. With this new railway, Laos, the only landlocked country in Southeast Asia, started to transform. People living along the route found it much easier to travel. Cities saw a surge in visitors, and logistics became quicker and more efficient. An economic belt started to take shape along the railway. When Lao President Thongloun Sisoulith recalled the opening ceremony of the China-Laos Railway in December 2021, he reflected on the excitement and significance of the event.
I still remember President Xi Jinping's words at the opening ceremony of the China-Laos Railway. He said, with the railway now in operation, the distance between China and Laos no longer feels so vast, and the mountains no longer so high. This railway can be our path of gold and silver.
Now, the railway not only connects Laos with China, but has also opened up a route linking Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, and other Southeast Asian countries. In 2022, the total import and export volume between China and 23 countries in the Asian neighborhood reached $1.9 trillion, accounting for 30.2% of China's total foreign trade. ASEAN has also been China's largest trading partner for 3 consecutive years since 2020. Xi Jinping said that the Chinese dream should be aligned with the aspirations of people in neighboring countries and the development prospects of the region. Under his leadership, China is delivering more benefits of modernization to its neighbors through cooperation in various fields and working with them hand in hand in building an Asian homeland of peace, prosperity, and friendly coexistence. On a breezy evening in September of 2024, the Great Hall of the People in Beijing was festive with the vibrant beats of African drums. Children dressed in bright costumes danced joyfully to the rhythm, their laughter filling the air. It was the welcome banquet hosted by Chinese President Xi Jinping and his wife Peng Liyuan to greet African guests who had arrived from afar to attend the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Xi Jinping said to his honored guests, "I have been to Africa 10 times and hosted many African leaders in China. Every time I meet African friends, I feel this deep connection." In his toast at the banquet, Xi Jinping's speech centered around the China-Africa community with a shared future, which in his terms is rooted in traditional friendship and thrives with win-win cooperation. Xi Jinping believes that while China and Africa advance hand in hand along the path of development, revitalization, and modernization, the voice of the Global South will have greater resonance. No matter how the world changes, Xi Jinping said, China-Africa friendship remains robust and grows stronger. As the rainy season came to an end on the African continent, Kojo Baling village in Senegal still sweltered in heat. The village's simple thatched cottages were clustered together, and a tall water tower stood out prominently in the center. The construction of this water tower was part of a larger project to improve water access in Senegalese villages with aid from China. Senegal, situated near the Sahara Desert, faces semi-arid conditions in its central and eastern regions. During the dry season, temperatures can soar to 45 degrees Celsius, making water the most precious resource. In rural areas far from the cities, old and failing water systems often leave villagers struggling to get enough water for their basic needs. Relentless droughts only worsen the hardship, sinking many into severe poverty. In September 2016, then President of Senegal, Macky Sall, arrived in East China's Hangzhou city for the G20 summit. Sall was one of the first to arrive among the many foreign leaders attending, and he was warmly welcomed by Xi Jinping. After a series of in-depth discussions, the two leaders decided to deepen cooperation in key areas like infrastructure and water conservancy. And among the agreements reached was China's aid for the rural well drilling projects in Senegal. Half a year later, in March 2017, the rural well drilling project was officially kicked off in Senegal, covering 12 of the country's 14 regions. Digging a well in the desert was as hard as that sounded. It often took over a week to just pinpoint the right spot for drilling, and it didn't get any easier from there. Heavy trucks loaded with equipment sank easily into the soft desert sand. Even with the spot already in sight, the drilling team had to lay iron plates under the truck wheels to edge forward inch by inch. Oftentimes, it could take days just to cover a few kilometers. Yet, despite all the setbacks, the Chinese engineering team and the local people kept going, working relentlessly day and night to drill the project through. Surging forth with the newfound water was also sincere friendship. On July 21, 2018, Xi Jinping visited Senegal and was warmly welcomed by his people. By this time, China's well drilling project was already halfway complete. Xi Jinping greeted the country with an article published in Senegal's Le Soleil newspaper, introducing that China would cooperate with Senegal to advance the rural water supply project that included 251 wells and 1,800 kilometers of pipelines, which would benefit 1/7 of Senegal's population. Today, all 251 water supply systems in Senegal have been completed. Each setup includes a well, a water tower, pipelines, and distribution facilities with a maximum daily supply of 80,000 cubic meters. Thanks to these systems, over 2 million people in Senegal now have access to clean drinking water at their doorstep. There is also water for agriculture and livestock, giving a much-needed boost to the local economy. A local villager said,
The population here has grown a lot. Our village used to be very small. Now it has expanded significantly. We used to have just a few cattle. Now we have 10,000. We are very grateful to the Chinese people for bringing such progress to our village.
As Xi Jinping pointed out, the small and beautiful livelihood projects that provide timely support and real benefits to local people would always be prioritized in China's overseas cooperation. For years, Xi Jinping has been leading China's cooperation with African countries with genuine sincerity. Under his guidance, a series of concrete and beneficial projects have been steadily implemented across Africa, bearing witness to the solid collaboration between China and developing countries. In Cameroon, the China-built Karibi deep-water port has been a boost to local logistics and industrial growth. In Nigeria, the Lai Rai Railway, constructed by Chinese companies, is transforming local transportation and connecting people in ways they haven't seen before. Xi Jinping said, "Without the modernization of China and Africa, there will be no global modernization." For years, supporting the development of countries in the global south has been at the top of Xi Jinping's agenda. He said,
China has always been a member of the global south and will always stand by developing countries. On the path to modernization, no one and no country should be left behind.
Xi Jinping has been leading China in its development while shouldering responsibility as a major country for the better development of the world. In one of his New Year's addresses, he said,
The Chinese people have always believed that the world is a community of shared future. The Chinese people not only aspire for a good life for themselves, but also hope for a good life for people around the world.
In the eyes of many national leaders and heads of international organizations, Xi Jinping is a sincere and charismatic leader. Russian President Vladimir Putin said,
He is a world-class leader, knowledgeable and always prepared for any situation.
Founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, said,
President Xi is certainly an impressive leader. I think everybody felt that his speech touched the nerves of many people in a very positive way.
Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić said,
I feel, and he is so regular, so down-to-the-earth man, and you can learn a lot, you can hear a lot.
Former French Prime Minister Jean-Pierre Raffarin said,
President Xi has remarkable strategic vision, always able to pinpoint core issues and key areas.
Xi Jinping said, human history, like a river, keeps surging forward, with moments of both calm waters and huge waves. Despite changes in an evolving global environment, the historical trend of openness and development will not reverse course, and our shared resolution to meet challenges together through cooperation will remain as strong as ever. You've been listening to Season 2 of Stories of Xi Jinping, a podcast series sharing Xi Jinping's governance philosophy as a national leader. Join us on all major podcast platforms by searching for Stories of Xi Jinping.